from the title. Um, this whole DDG situation and also Tory Lane situation has really made me realize that we have an epidemic of men that are really not connected or grounded in any type of reality. And I think we as women are really just not paying attention to it. And I think that we should be paying attention to it because when men are not living in reality and they are like building this like fantasy world that women are actually harming them and they're the prey and men are the ones that need to fear women because women are so evil and bad and all of these things, like crime and even more violence is sure to follow against women, and more specifically BLK women. And I know people, we talk a lot about these topics and it seems to be not a big deal, but this is actually a huge deal. And I really do feel like if you are a BLK woman, you should want to talk about it. If you're a woman, really, you should want to talk about it too. But definitely if you're a BLK woman, you should want to talk about it. Because I'm tired of seeing men that are literal criminals, literal felons, literally have done a whole bunch of things to women. And yet, when something happens to where they get their consequences, now all of a sudden they're an enemy and it's women's fault. And women are the enemy and women need to be harmed and hurt and all of these things. And it's bleeding off into the regular average everyday man. I just saw a video of an older gentleman talking about how Halle Bailey was an enemy. She's a person that pretends to be nice, but she's not really nice. Now, I would venture to say, dude, how do you know if Halle Bailey is nice or not nice? You don't know. You've never met her. You've never spoken to her. You've never been in the room with her. You don't know anything. You're just saying that because of what's going on with her in DDG. You're making an assumption. How come you didn't make an assumption with this lady's pictures that he's the one that did it? You get what I'm saying? Then the man starts talking about how women are the enemy and, he doesn't play like that with women because he tells them, find something safe to play with. It's not me. And, he always looks at women just like men. There is no difference. If they have something that he wants or they're doing something to him, he's going to treat them just like he would treat a grown man. And the amount of men on that post like agreeing is like actually real disturbing. Truthfully. And I really do think that I understand that, of course, all around the world, the majority of all crime, the majority of all violent acts are committed by men. So we know that the way black men behave is not just indicative of just them. It's a male culture problem, period. But I will say that I feel like BLK men have a very, very serious problem with refusing to see who they are and what type of man they really are. And, sometimes, unfortunately, that is BLK women's fault, somewhat due to the coddling, the enabling, the lying to BLK men that BLK women do. Oh, it's okay. Oh, he's all right. Oh, he didn't mean it. Oh, all of these type of things. But I really am tired of seeing, so many people take problematic men's side on things. Like, y'all act like, well, if you were talking about DDG, that he hasn't had other issues with other women, other toxic relationships with other women. So if it was just Halle Bailey, why is it that he was having all of these public issues with Ruby Rose, calling her the B word, calling her out of her name? They're getting into it publicly, extremely toxic. So, have you heard anything with Halle Bailey before DDG or no? I know I haven't. But it's funny, it's like everybody's powers of reasoning and deduction are turned off when it comes to a black woman. All of a sudden, people don't think logically. All of a sudden, people don't think rationally. All of a sudden, evidence and facts don't mean anything at all. And the crazy thing about it is that stats show it all. They show it all. You tell me who's unaliving the other. You tell me who's doing the majority of the crimes in the black community. Like, who's putting the majority of people in the dirt in the black community? Who, all of these things. Like, it's not like there's no footprint or for you to, or blueprint, excuse me, for you to see what's going on. And it's crazy because it's like you get all of these bitter old men, then these red pill incels, they link up, they start, circle jerking each other and, circle jerking each other and lying to each other about the type of men that they are. And then when the type of man that they think they are or that they've lied to themselves about, they try to perpetrate that to a woman and she says, oh no, you're not that guy. You're not that type of man. No. Then he gets mad and angry and then goes to another man to confirm, no, am I that type of man? Yeah, bro, you are. How are you if none of the women think so? Because isn't that who you're trying to talk to, women? Like, I don't know. It's a very strange situation. And like I said earlier, what I was talking about, if you just follow the blueprint and you look at the stats and you look at actual fact-based data, you can see where the problem really lies. That is so upsetting to me that black women are attacked the most and ignored also, even though they are the most vulnerable. Like, you can see stats about, like, black women being 7 to 10 times more likely to be unalived while pregnant. You can hear a stat that black women make up 10% of the female population here in the United States, but make up 59 to 60% of all unalivings of women. You can hear all of those things and still be like, oh no, I can't believe DDG would ever do anything to her. I can't fathom it. It's just completely insane. Why? He would never. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I just don't like everything. I don't like, I saw a video that made me think about this, even though I've already said it plenty of times about how, brainwashing black women and encouraging black women to be mammies and sacrifice it all for a BLK man that won't even give them the bare minimum or pour into them is being brainwashed to black women and black girls, and it has been for decades. Movies like Baby Boy, perfect example. You get cheated on, you get disrespected, you get called out of your name, and then all of a sudden at the end, when he's supposed to have this epiphany that he's a loser, you're supposed to go ahead and accept him back and build him up and forget everything that he's done. Even though when you attempted to do, when he thought you were doing something, he was so mad and angry, didn't want to talk to you anymore, but expected you to accept something that he wouldn't accept. I wish that people would understand that all of those things are brainwashing black women. Also, I feel like the newest movie, I didn't even want to talk about this, but let me not talk about it. I will save it for later. There is a lot of brainwashing that is taking place inside the psyche of black women to this very day. And it seems like when I hear a lot of black women speak about things, it's like a lot of black women are unaware that the brainwashing and the conditioning is even taking place. Just like with the movie Sinners. I don't know. And I do feel like no matter what we do as, be okay women, one thing we've got to do is make sure that we're more educated and more, questioning of everybody and everything. Because at the end of the day, when there's something going on with black women or we're going through something, who is there? Who is there to support? Who is there to even believe you? Like, Halle Bailey came out with pictures and people don't believe her. She's never did anything problematic, but people don't believe her. Now, DDG has done plenty of things that's problematic. But all of a sudden, because he's a BOK male, he gets the benefit of the doubt. If that doesn't that should make your average everyday black woman enraged. In my opinion. It should make you upset. Let's see here. Amira, you said you didn't watch Sinners because you didn't like that they were pushing the white tea woman and the black actor. Okay, so I'll tell you, I saw it. I did go see it. Most of the time, to be honest with you, I will support a black movie because, white tea people feel like they can, shame or talk about DI and then it won't be successful. I even went to go see Brave New World with Anthony Mackie, the Marvel, even though I like Marvel movies anyway, but I make sure that I went just because of that. But I do understand what you mean with Sinners. I didn't like the dynamic and the way they did the whole dynamic between, Smoke and Stack, and the irony is not lost on me that it's Michael B. Jordan, a man that is known for not liking black women, and I don't understand why so many black women thought that it was some type of love story to I think her name is Woonmi, the dark skinned black woman, love interest. I don't know. It wasn't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't. Like at the end of the day, never mind. Let's see here. Miss Good News, you said, then these men complain they don't believe women because they don't speak out or fast enough. Exactly. They will say, hey, why did that woman wait 5 years to say something? I don't know, because you wasn't gonna believe her on hour 5, day 5, or year 5. You wasn't gonna believe her no matter what. So I don't even understand why you tripping. But yeah, you guys, hopefully, I don't know. I think I'm shadow banned to get on this page. I think I'm shadow banned on this page, so I am going to try to see if I can get some more people in here, y'all. I'm gonna be silent for a minute, but if I cannot get anybody, I'll just come back later and see if I can get somebody. All right, you guys. I'm seeing if I can get somebody. Hopefully, some people in the live or in the box or whatever. I don't know. If not, I might try to go live from my backup page. Maybe I could get more people over there. I'm not for sure. Da-da-da-da. But we will see. We will see. We will see. But yeah, I really wanted to talk about this because all of the videos that I've been seeing from men have really been just blowing my mind. Truthfully, blowing my mind, disgusting me, and just everything. It's just so crazy that it's just so many black men that'll be like, how can we believe her? How can we? Black men have such excellent reputations. Why? Why would anybody believe her? We have reputation. We have a reputation for being the nicest, most kindest, most supportive men in the whole community of people. Why would you dare believe that a man would put his hands on somebody? I don't know. It could be because maybe we have some of the highest rates of abuse. No, that couldn't be that. Why would you guys think that a man would threaten to unalive a BOK woman when it's just that we have the highest rates of unaliving our women than anyone else? Like I just don't it just don't make no sense. Like it really doesn't make logical sense. So since it doesn't make logical sense, then you know that it's rooted in hatred and bias. That's what it's rooted in. But okay, you guys, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the live. I'm gonna try to go to my backup page, which is Triggered Thoughts of a BW, and see if that I can help that way. Exactly, Miss Good News. Exactly. It's really insane. But I'm gonna come back, you guys, and I'm gonna try it on my backup page. I'm gonna actually end this and go right there. I'm doing the topic today. Stop supporting problematic men. And hey, how you doing, Jess? Because I have seen so many videos about Halle Bailey, and I saw this one video from this older black man talking about how, Halle Bailey is not a nice person. She's evil. She's fake. And he thinks that all women are the enemies and adversaries, and he treats them just like he'll treat a man and all this other crazy stuff. And, it led me to realize something, that most BLK men live in a state of delusion. They refuse to see who they are. They refuse to see how they are viewed collectively, and also how what they have done that contributes to the outcomes in life that they have. Hey, Miley. And I think this is a perfect example because black women are given zero grace, none at all, right? Even though Halle Bailey had proof of the situation, also she has no history of dealing with men in a toxic way. However, DDG does. He just had a toxic relationship with Ruby Rose not too long ago. Calling her the B word, acting crazy, getting out of pocket. But for some reason, now everybody is on social media trying to make it like DDG is this innocent choir boy that doesn't do anything. And really, as a community of black people, we have got to unpack why anytime a black woman goes through anything and a black man is involved, instead of putting the blame where it should lie, at the black man's door, here you are demonizing a black woman. It don't matter if she got beat up. It don't matter if she got unalive. It don't matter if she got raped. It don't matter if she got disrespected. You're going to find some way to make that black woman the evil person in the scenario. And, that's crazy to me. And what's even crazier, though, is that there are plenty of black women that participate in this as well. They participate in it and do the same thing. And they uphold this, I don't even know what it is, this weird standard of, putting black women on the lowest and never believing them and always believing a black man, even if he had previous bad behavior. Like, because I just can't understand how many men that I've seen literally trying to make DDG the victim. What? Good morning, Common NC. The fact that anybody would attempt to make this man a victim is literally insane to me. And when people talk about, like, don't believe black women, you can't trust them, you don't know, all of these things, the stats show everything, show and prove everything. So it's just like I said in the earlier live, black women are the most at risk while pregnant for being unalived by a partner. Black women, excuse me, ignore my dog. Black women are more likely to be unalived. Let me block this person. Hold on. Black women are more likely to be unalived. Black women make up 10% of the female population, yet 59 to 60% of all unalivings of women. There's so many different things that black women are more likely to experience physical violence from the men in their community, all of these different things. But yet, for some reason, when y'all hear that a BOK man that you may like or is famous or even in your family has done something, it's so far-fetched. You don't believe it. You can't believe it. Why not? Why not? Why can't you believe it when history and stats and actual factual data will prove to you that that is probably more than likely the case? It just doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. And, seeing so many older men, standing behind this is crazy. I just, it's literally insane to me. And, it's just like every time something happens to a black woman, every time she has an issue, she's not believed, she's talked about, she's demonized. But then BOK men that are actually doing harm, actually doing things to people, y'all find some way to romanticize that and make it seem like it's not that big a deal. I've seen so many people talking about Diddy saying, oh, well, it seems like it was just a domestic violence situation. No big deal. What? What? When is domestic violence not a big deal? When is beating the brakes off a woman not a big deal? I don't care if she got money or not. I don't care if you tricked on her and caked on her or not. Beating the brakes off a woman is not something that she should be expected to endure because you're paying her bills. And if you think that, there's something literally mentally wrong with you. Because if I used this example before, but like y'all know Cher, the old school singer Cher, that is with Amber Rose's baby daddy. I think Cher is like almost 80 years old. And she's with that man and he's in his 30s. Imagine if there was like some video that came out and she had like this whip and it wasn't like a kinky way, but she was like beating this man, whipping him, beating him, going upside his head. There would be not a single solitary man that would say, oh, he wanted the lifestyle, so he got to go ahead and get beat like that. He wanted the lifestyle, so he got to take getting punched in the face by her. It would never happen. But anyway, let me see here. Diggs, you can go ahead, sir, if you have something to say.
Top
Hey,
of the morning. Good morning.
morning.
Interesting topic. And I like to be fair about these conversations because when we talk about the toxicity that's in male culture, we do oftentimes glance over it. We glance over it as if it's supposed to be normal. We glance over it as if it's supposed to be acceptable, or it's almost like it's the nature of men, right? That's how we glance over it. And when I say, in all fairness, we glance over some things about ladies too, but I do think that overwhelmingly we glance over some of the things that men do, because a lot of men don't actually want to be better men. A lot of men don't want to be better men. I used to have false optimism when it came to men, and I've mentored lots of men. And even when I was younger and I would get mentored by better and more refined men, there was a pushback instilled in me from when I was young, being around older, what I realize now were not men, they were boys, that kept me from desiring to be a better man. So when we go to like the first prompt, for example, why do BMs refuse to see who they are? It's because it's not easily, it's not easy for a lot of men to stand alone in truth. A lot of men have to stand in groups in truth. I think that's the same thing for most people, like men and women, but standing alone in truth means that you're not part of the boys club anymore. That means that some of the banter that's negatively reinforcing the misuse of women is no longer clapped at, or I mean, not clapped in a bad way, but applauded at by men. There are a lot of men, like I said, when we get to certain stages in our lives, the men who stand alone, they begin to have less friends. Just like the women, I guess, because I know a lot of women, the more righteous they become, the less friends they have. So, but since we're just talking about men, they refuse to see
What
who
do you
they
mean
are.
by more righteous? I'm confused.
Okay, so let's say, in all fairness, right? Like, if we talked about just being immoral as men, like, regardless if the young lady decides to let you, and this is a typical conversation for men, if the young lady decides to let you be physically involved with her, have sex, because she's misusing herself, or because she's allowing you to steal her time and her efforts and her energy away to validate you yourself, are you going to? The man still has to make the decision, the accountable decision of if he's going to say yes to her, right? She gives him the allowance, and he has to say, do I want to help her destroy herself? He still has to take that, he has to make that standalone decision. Do I want to help her to
Yeah,
damage
I'm still
herself?
confused with what you mean about the women losing friends when they become righteous. Like, what are the
Oh,
women doing to become righteous? And why would the women be
okay,
upset?
so the women who would be righteous are the women who were taking the time out, since I'm just talking about the whole smecks and all that stuff, the women who are taking the time out to say, I will identify myself and be beautiful, not externally, but internally. I will become useful to myself. I will become an inspiration to myself. I will be proud of what I do in the mirror instead of just what I look like in the mirror. Those are
I
the women who
literally
are
don't
becoming righteous to
understand what you're
themselves.
saying at all. I literally have
Okay,
no idea
okay,
what you're
okay,
saying.
okay. Okay. So imagine a young lady, right? Imagine a young lady not being concerned with how people receive her physically. She's not concerned about walking out in the world and her hair being this way or that way, or her skin appearing this way or that way. Imagine that she is deciding to go to the gym and work on herself because she desires to be healthy, not because she wants to present an aesthetically pleasing person to the world. Imagine a young lady deciding
That
to
that that doesn't make
wash
any,
her.
sir. There's no
Yes, go
shame
ahead.
in a woman wanting to work out. There's no shame in a woman wanting to look attractive for herself or also for other people. There's nothing wrong with that. It's human nature to want to feel attractive, to want to feel like when people see you, they don't look at you and think like you're absolutely disgusting. That's just human nature, and that's present in
It
men and women. No, that
should.
there. I don't even know if there's any way to even unpack anything like that. Not to say that you should be overly concerned with what people think or are concerned about you, but even if you were, let's just say you said, "Hey, forget what everybody thinks. It's only about me." That would be fine. That's not being righteous. So what I'm saying is that what are you? I need you to give me something about what you're trying to say when you say that when women become righteous, they lose their friends. Like what is under the umbrella of righteousness? Because you walking around and
Okay.
not caring about what your hair looks like is not righteous at all.
Okay.
It's not unrighteous, but it's not righteous either.
When okay, so when women decide for themselves that they're gonna be like, okay, this like presenting this is less than a woman. Like when women decide on standards of living, like higher standards of living, right? Then they also decide that they're going to like well, when they start to hold other women accountable, they have less friends. Immediately they have less friends. Like most
Hold them
women will tell you
accountable
that
for what?
experience.
Hold women accountable for what?
Okay.
And you wouldn't be able to give me an experience because you're not a woman. So you don't know exactly what happened and what the
No,
dynamic was between
this
women.
is the conversation I've had with women, right?
No,
The
but I'm
conversation
saying
I've
a
had with women.
conversation that you had with women is never going to be
Yes.
like a conversation with women alone. It's never going to be the same. So you cannot speak from that. It's just like me telling you the dynamics on how to be a man. I don't know. Or what goes on with men. Or how y'all talk and interact when y'all are by yourselves. I don't know. I'm not a man and I wouldn't presume to say it. So you can't speak on what women deal with or what they doing when they're talking to each other. And once
Well,
again, this word accountable
I
is
could just
used a
go on
lot.
what the woman's telling me. That's all I can go on. Is what the
I
woman's
mean, I
telling
would
me, right?
prefer not to talk about something like secondhand. Like, you know, I just wanted you to give me like something like factual as far as like this accountability. Like, what do women need to be held accountable for? What are the women holding women accountable for? What is
Okay,
the
so women
righteousness
are
that these women are supposed to be? What is it? What is the righteousness and what is the
okay.
accountability?
The way they present themselves in the world, their mindsets, and their lack of standards for the treatment of themselves. That's what righteous women are holding women accountable for.
What are these
Like when
standards?
you
And how are these
okay,
women that need to be held accountable? How are they presenting themselves?
okay, so these women are presenting themselves as if they are just objects for sale. They're presenting themselves, I mean, both physically and mentally, they're presenting themselves that way.
Okay, so how do they do that?
And
So
okay,
like when you
so
see a woman and you say she's presenting herself for sale, like what would show you that that's what she was doing? What outer it would show you that?
well, there's appropriation, right? So if you go to the gym, you wear gym clothes. If you go to the office, you wear clothes that focus on that environment, right? But when you move specifically for to garnish attention from others, and you know that you are doing that, women can spot that a mile away. Women are very intuitive about other women. They could
Okay.
spot that a mile
All right,
away.
all right, Diggs. I gotta be honest with you. That to be concerned with that as a grown man is literally insane. To be concerned with what women are wearing to the gym and whether they want people to think they look cute or not is absolutely insane. Who cares? If they
It's,
wore it there for a
it's,
man to think that they look cute, so who cares? At the end of the day, what does that do? Is that destroying society? No. Are men beating the brakes off of women and men unaliving women and putting them in the dirt and raping them? Is that destroying society? Absolutely. So I think that you
Absolutely.
be way better
Absolutely.
focused on that than what a woman is wearing or how she's wearing her hair or whether she's wearing an outfit that's gonna make dudes like her and she's not gonna be on it. Because that's all it's rooted in is that those women that men see that they like, that those women will be looking good and they say no, I'm not interested in you. Because there's no other reason for you to bring that up. Like it literally doesn't make any sense. Really nothing that you said it made sense, but really nothing that you said it made sense, but it just doesn't make any sense. And any woman that is attempting to tell another woman how to dress is already a weirdo, and that's why she's losing friends. Because what do
No,
I look like having a
I
friend
think
and
those
telling her,
women.
hey, I think you should wear something different to the gym and work out. I don't think that you should be
Yeah,
presenting yourself in a way that other men think that you look attractive. Like, don't do that.
no,
Like, of course, I wouldn't be
it's
your friend anymore either.
no, I mean, I think that those women, right, and I think the reason why you don't want to hear me is because the
No.
idea of amorality, like the idea of victimhood and amorality is written
Okay, you know
into
what,
the
Diggs?
code of becoming a woman.
Okay, Diggs, let me stop you right there. Okay, because you said that I didn't want to hear you. I did hear you. I listened to you speak. I didn't interrupt you at all, and you had a lot of time to say something, but you said nothing at all. And my thing is that a lot of times y'all mention these things about like amorality and morality. Like I want to ask you a question, Diggs. Are you married? That's the first question. I have
Absolutely,
both of you. Okay, so Diggs, how long
absolutely,
have
ma'am.
you
Are
been
you
married?
married as well?
Yes, I am.
So
I'm married.
so
My
we can
husband is.
parallel this conversation. Okay, there we
I'm
go.
asking questions.
Perfect, perfect.
My husband is right here on the panel at the bottom. I've been married for 15 years. It'll be 16 years this year. So number two.
Congratulations, congratulations.
How long have you been married? How
I'm
long?
married a few years less than you.
Okay,
A few
so
years less
and
than you.
then you a few years less than me. Okay, then my third question is: did you and your wife have sex before y'all got married, or were you a virgin when you got married?
Neither of us were virgins. How about you
Okay,
guys?
so let's start there. So and you did you
How
guys
about
have
you guys?
intercourse? So you
No,
guys
no,
had intercourse
I like to
before
have a
y'all got
parallel
married.
conversation.
So
Wait, 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 wait. Now,
did you
A
guys have
parallel
hold
intercourse?
on,
conversation.
hold on. She's
Wait,
trying to
wait,
make a point. It has.
what? I couldn't hear you. Diggs, I couldn't hear you. I want to
Oh, I'm
know,
sorry.
like,
Oh,
yeah. Did you guys have
okay, go ahead.
intercourse before you?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Are you talking to me or are you talking to somebody else?
No, no, I'm getting a little bit of a delay, I think. No,
Okay.
so my question was every question. Well, my statement was for us to have a parallel conversation. Every question that you ask me, would you mind ask? I mean, would you mind answering also?
No, because I'm getting to a point.
Okay.
But
Then
I'll
we
say
can't have a
this. I'll say
conversation.
this though. I'll say this though. I can tell you this. I was raised extremely religious, and I was a virgin when I got married. So there's that. So now you can answer my question. Were you and your wife having sex before y'all got married? Yes or
Yes,
no?
we were.
Okay. So my thing
Yes, we
is
were.
this. My thing is this.
Was your
Is that
husband also not
so
having
no, no,
sex
we're not.
before you guys got together?
I'm not gonna talk about that. What
No,
I'm gonna
I'm
do,
just
because
asking. I'm
no,
just
I don't
asking.
have to do that because I'm not the one making a moral argument here. You are. And so my thing is that you have
Okay.
so many men. You have so many men. Let me mute you up because you have a lot of background noise. There are so many men that have had sex everywhere, penetrated their wives before marriage, committed fornication, been ran through, been doing all of these things with that penis that you have, but then want to come around and shame a woman for an outfit or shame another woman for having intercourse, for doing exactly what you did. So my thing is that you don't get to speak from a moral high ground when you didn't have any morals yourself. Just because you're married now doesn't give you a right to look at somebody in a superior position. And I say this as a person that was raised extremely religious, extremely religious. My parents didn't play any games. I did not even kiss a man until I got married, to my first husband. So my thing is this, is that y'all have got to stop holding women to this moral standard that you don't have. You are the last person that should be talking about somebody's dress, the way somebody presents, somebody's morals, who's having sex, who's not, when you didn't do it yourself. And I am being completely honest here. I was absolutely a virgin. I did not lose my virginity until I was 25 and married. So my thing is that, yeah, and I never talk to people about who they should sleep with, what they did, what their body count is, all of these different morals. Because what I feel like y'all speak from is a place of inadequacy, a place of you want to put something that you didn't even have the balls to do on your own onto other people. Because for somebody that didn't lose their virginity until they were 25, I don't speak like this. But the only people I ever hear speaking like this are people that didn't do anything that they're preaching. You up there having sex with your wife every wasting Sunday, and then get married, and then trying to be somebody's judgment. It's disgusting. It honestly is disgusting. And all it is rooted in the oppression of women. Like, you see a woman shining and you want to find some way to humble her and break her down. You see a woman that you feel like is at the gym that you cannot, that you know that you cannot get with. It triggers something inside you. And now you want to find some way to make her feel bad about her existence. And it's just that simple. And I need y'all to know that this fake morality that I see a lot of y'all red pill dudes have is literally destroying the black community. It's destroying the black community. You cannot expect something from somebody that you did not have or you did not do yourself. You cannot.
Can I have a question? Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay, so, and excuse my background because I'm in the gym. Would you tell young ladies to present themselves in a manner that is less than a wife?
What is a wife? Not everybody wants to be a wife. So I would tell my daughters, which I have, to present themselves in the best way possible as young women. Not as a wife. Who's living their life to just be a wife? What if you don't want to be a wife? Being a wife is not the end all and be all of anything, especially when there are so many unhinged, psychopathic men that feel like a wife is synonymous with slave. Or synonymous with a woman I can
What is the
control and tell what to do. So, yeah.
standard of young womanhood for you that you would project your children? Would you just say, you can go out here, look any kind of way, go out here, show yourself any kind of way, express your ideas of possible immorality any kind of way? What kind of standard, if you were
Once again, I don't
on
understand why you
just
keep
on a
talking about
podium?
immorality. Like, I'm just confused by it. Like, immorality clearly wasn't that big a deal for you. So why is it a big deal now? It's easy to say and talk about immorality when you're married and now you have an outlet for that intercourse. But if you
Because
were
we know the
single, you wouldn't
consequences
be
of it.
talking about that. If you
No.
were single, you wouldn't be talking
prior
about
to
that.
being married, I got myself together, grounded myself, and said, okay, I want to live a better life. I want to be a representation for my children, period. I want to be a leader for my wife, period. But I needed to lead myself first. So I took a sabbatical. I decided to step out. I decided to ground myself in better things. So if you were talking to a group of people, right, whether they were children or adults, what would you tell them to do? Would you tell them to live at a higher standard and be cautious so that they can walk in a better light to protect themselves? Or would you tell them, wear what you want to wear, girl, live how you want to live, girl, go and have as much sex as you want to, girl, regardless of your lifestyle? What would you tell them?
Okay.
He's been doing this for years.
This guy, Sage?
Yes, I know him. I've been on TikTok for a very long time. He's been doing this for years and he's worried about the wrong things because he needs to be worried about black boys. He's always been worried about women, what they're
I
wearing. He's
do.
been
Every
doing
day,
no, you
every
haven't.
Tuesday, Wednesday,
No,
and
you
Thursday, I
haven't. You've
do.
been doing this for years and I've had you blocked for a very, very long time. You're always concerned about the women are doing. Why are you so concerned about what women are doing when you have a wife?
Because they are the
And how
first
dare
teachers of
you?
our children in
And
most
how dare
cases.
you talk to her like that? Her husband is on the panel. Her husband is on a panel, and
I'm sure
you're
he's
talking
finding
to her
common sense in what I'm
crazy.
saying. Unless he has no backbone, he's
Hey,
finding some
don't do
common
that.
sense.
Don't do that. Don't say nothing about my husband not having backbone. Because that's where you gonna get dropped in and you gonna get torn up. So please don't make me tear you up, Diggs. Go ahead, babe. Did you have something to say?
Hold on, I was busy. Okay, so what's the question now?
No, he just said that you would agree with some of the things that he said if you had some backbone. But I think that anybody that
No, I
is
mean,
mentally sane wouldn't even be feeling anything they got to say.
no, I don't. Look, people are free agents to do whatever it is that they want to do, and everybody has to deal with whatever consequence it comes for whatever they do. I'm not here to be the moral police of anybody or tell anybody what it is that they can or cannot wear, especially when the whole onus should be, regardless on what any woman wears, men ought to treat them still as human beings and with respect. Because if you're talking about being righteous, that's what righteous people do. So even if you see it, if you can't maintain being righteous towards that person, then you're already in the wrong.
I think I led with that point right there, so I agree with
Well, you didn't leave with that point. Um,
his point.
you didn't. But let me just say, it's very very strange to hear men constantly preach morality to women when generally
I'm gonna listen,
speaking.
host. I'm gonna
Okay.
sit back and listen because I know my background's loud.
Okay. I think that it's very strange to encounter men that constantly put this moral compass that is supposed to be had onto women while they allow men to run amok, or while they have done all of these type of things, or not addressing that the collective of men generally tend to be more perverted than women. So it's like, why aren't you talking to the audience where where you could be better of service, you know? Yeah, he left, y'all. I didn't drop him. I
Does
just want
that,
y'all to know
but
that.
he always does that. Once somebody figures out who he is, and he drops and he won't listen to what somebody else does. He's been doing this for years nonstop. And I truly do not understand it, because the stuff that you're telling him, he's been told over and over and over. I've even told him those exact same things and had them arguments with him years ago when I first got up here on TikTok, and I've had encounters. So he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing, and with the way that he speaks, he's real sneaky, and he tries to sneak stuff in. But he's a liar, he's a snake, and he's a silver-tongued devil.
Yeah, I just feel like I think that it's always problematic when a man will say, "Are you raising your daughters to be wives? Are you raising them to be wives?" First of all, what is raising somebody to be a wife? And number two, why would I do that? The default setting of a woman is not a wife. The default setting of a woman is a woman. So I'll raise them to be good women, to grow up to be good women. Like this type of you know, um, outdated patriarchal psychosis is really got to be stopped. But let me go forward. Go ahead, Jess.
I just want to kind of piggyback a little bit on what you said too, because a funny thing is we never hear in the reverse as much around the place that, oh, are you being raised to be a husband? And half the time these men don't even know how to be a proper husband, much less a proper man. So it's so crazy that they're always trying to kind of hold us to these standards rather than actually even looking at themselves. Like he said, he talked to the men. That's what he kept on saying to Sage, right? But then my thing is, you talk to the men, but then how about, this is a whole topic. The topic of the live right now is male-centered topics. How did it go from, oh, you need to teach your daughters how to be wise and whatever? How did it go from to that? That shows where your direction is, where your focus is, sir. And that's the problem. Like he just came like really backwards. It was really I don't know. I was just seething. I stay in the comments, but I was just seething when I heard him, because I was like, this makes no sense whatsoever. Because as you said before, it should be more so, what happened to ever teaching people about character? Whatever happened to teaching people about discipline? However that goes forward in life, that's subjective. Not your problem unless it's like your family or whatever. Deal with that. But as much as, or whatever the communal laws are and all that, up here to that. But sometimes that's going to be reflected subjectively. So you cannot just expect everything, how you want it to be. as a standing of righteousness. Because half the time, even the people in churches and all that stuff are not upholding righteousness, quote unquote. So, you gotta, this whole righteousness talk, being that it's so subjective, if he has no definition, he has no reason bringing it up. And I don't want to hear about it from him, to be honest. I don't know. That's just some of the stuff that I got from that. Teach character,
He's
teach
been doing
discipline,
this
not
for a
teach
long,
someone to be a
long,
wife.
long time. Like, he always does that every single panel. He's like, I talk to the men, I talk to the men. No, you don't. I haven't seen him do it not one time in the many years that I've been on this app. He has not talked to the men in one time. He will get on the panel and talk about women and what women needs to do. And and I can't believe he's still doing it.
Yeah, he's definitely a weirdo. And I just want anybody that's listening to this to know that I don't care about what you've done sexually or when you had sex or when you didn't or how you. The only reason why I ask men those questions that speak like I ask men those questions that speak like him because it's a way because I feel like they get ashamed and they don't want to be called out on it. And it's like, I feel like you want to shame women, you want to shame people. So let you see how it feels for somebody to play with you like that. For somebody to make you feel inadequate for choices that you've made. And besides, I know that they can never do that aha game with me because I was raised in the cult, y'all. So so I didn't have any access to people like that. But I'm just saying that it never fails. They always start stuttering. They always want to try to, well, what about you? What about you? What about your husband then? Because he couldn't get me. So now you want to talk about, well, what about your husband? What was he doing? We're not talking about that. You're the one who decided to get your big head up here and start talking about women and what they're choosing to do with their vajayjays. So let's talk about what you do with let's talk about what you do with yourself.
And if I could add too, it shows how trivial they are too. They do that whole tit for tat thing. Just because you asked, you were leading somewhere. You were getting to a point. That didn't mean for him to ask you back. Like, that's so trivial. That's the stuff that the little kids do.
Exactly.
Come
But
on now.
he didn't have a leg to stand on, so I already knew that was. But let me keep going, you guys. Thank you so much, Jess. Let me go to here to Common and then Cookie. Go ahead, Common.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I had it on mute, and the phone was in the passenger seat. Um, the first thing that that last guy said that triggered me, not to pun on your name, was he started talking about men setting standards for women, and I am a man. Okay, I'm 50 years old. I mean, I am a man, and I've always said my whole life the same thing that my mother, my grandmother told me: no man can set standards for women. That is up for women to do. Back in my day, for a man to do so was called chauvinistic. Now the word is misogynistic. And every time I hear a man say, well, we need to set standards for women, it's not we, it's women. Women are the only ones who understand women completely and totally. When you get into a relationship, you have to learn that woman to see if you're a good fit. You don't trim edges off of her to make her fit into your story. If she doesn't fit, leave her alone. Respect the fact that she is her own person and grown and mature, and leave her alone. Don't waste her time. Don't waste her energy, and just move on. And it seems like guys like him don't understand that concept. But he does have some knowledge about stuff, but he's trying to bend it and twist it to fit a misogynistic narrative, which now makes it perverted and wrong. And then to turn around, like you said, I mean, he got triggered is what he did, and he tried to fire back. And I really wanted to say that about the standard, men setting standards. We need to stop. Men need to stop trying to set standards for women and just let women just back up. You know what I mean? And let women be women. Because if they're not happy, the relationship's not going to be happy. It just that's all I really wanted to say. I mean, when he started talking about that, I really wanted to catch him before he walked off because it was just wrong, all the way wrong. And that's all I wanted.
All right. Thank you, Common. All right, let me move over here to Cookie. Go ahead, Cookie. Hey, how you doing, sis?
Hey Trigger, how you doing? I'm doing all right. I just left the dentist. I just came up to talk for a little bit. But I didn't hear anything that the guy had said prior before he left, so I don't really know the conversation, but I know the conversation because it's likely that you come across people like this who say things like this. And it's like I just feel like I am so like in a daze that this is our reality. Like, people are really like, they defend the most heinous things. I just was telling men the other day on a panel that when it comes to a man and a woman, it's always, but we only know her side. We don't know the other side. We need all the facts. But anytime it's a man's story, they're believing everything with no facts. They see actual paperwork and say, that's not enough facts. I need more facts. How many more facts do you need to know that somebody's a deadbeat? That they don't take care of their kid? All these random excuses that mean nothing. Today I was on a panel and a woman literally said, first she was talking about grooming as far as Cassie wasn't, she was 22 because they were talking about age. But again, I feel like the problem is people are not educated, because when you're educated you don't say dumb things. Like, thinking grooming is just on the surface level of age means that you don't even know what the definition of grooming is. Grooming, the actual definition, has nothing to do with age. It has everything to do with somebody preparing you to put you in situations that they want to be in control in. It has nothing, it doesn't even say anything about age. So if you actually take the time, because I knew that from just my knowledge, but I was like, let me go see to make sure before I say something that's wrong. But this is not what most people do. What most people do is think that they're right and then regurgitate that. Then when they get hit with facts, they want to go, oh, but this, and that. She even said, when I said that, because some guy had came up talking about, oh, well, he was paying for it. Men do that every day. And I said, but that's not legal. So you can't just say it like that's a thing that's okay. Here she come, doctor. Actually, it's actually legal in some states. And I'm like thinking in my head, because I'm not a person, I don't come up here to argue with people, but you're always going to end up arguing with people when they don't put logic first and you're a logical person. I'm in my head thinking, I'm pretty sure Nevada is like the only state that has counties that allow you to do that. But me, to my better judgment, I said, I'm going to look it up because maybe something changed. Nothing has changed. So when we're regurgitating things online without actually knowing the education behind it, you are just saying whatever to fit your narrative. Even if it's legal in Nevada, it's not legal everywhere else. And this is the problem, is that people want to justify things that should not be justified. I had a conversation with my sister the other night telling her, like, if we're going to get, because they're trying to figure out how to get rid of corn and how to make that illegal. But that's going to turn into a whole nother thing. But I told her what they really need to do is they need to censor it. They need to make it where there's not certain things that can be put on there. I said, because I don't feel like we need to see stuff like defecation and urination and all this different stuff. Nobody needs to learn about that. Like, we keep using polite words like fetishes, but we need to be honest. That stuff is disgusting. What is extra
You,
about, I know I came out. What is actually healthy? Because I'm about to drop. What is actually healthy about having somebody urinate on you and finding pleasure in that? I feel like that means something is really wrong with you in your brain chemistry. And because everybody keeps refusing to go to therapy, we keep ending up in these situations where people are doing deviant things like this and disgusting things like this, and people are trying to excuse it, saying, well, that's their fetish. That's if it, as long as it's consensual. And yes, consent is the main thing for everything actual, but we have to be honest when we're normalizing things like defecation and urination and consent grape actual acts is disgusting.
I mean, I definitely agree with you there. I do. I'm the
Good
first person
afternoon.
to say that certain things we gotta we can't say like you know some people will say don't ink shame, and I feel like no, some people they should be shamed because what they're into is too crazy. But let me go ahead and go here to Sharon. You there,
Good
Sharon?
afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, hey, how you doing? Go ahead, sir.
I'm fine. How's everything?
Pretty good.
I'm good. How's everything?
Yeah, it's good. We're doing fine.
I'm from Nigeria.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and drop you because I don't know what you on. I mean, this isn't a pop the balloon, so I don't. Sir, you gotta sober up, get you a couple cups of coffee or something because I don't know what you on. Um, but yeah, once again, the topic today is why do BLK men refuse to see who they are? And why is it that every time a problematic BLK man does something, everybody seems to take their side and then turn around and attack and victimize the woman? And even if the woman doesn't have a history of bad behavior, like with Halle Bailey, y'all still find some type of way to make her the enemy so that you can push the narrative of defending a problematic man. I find this to be crazy. I find it to be insane. I don't know why it keeps happening. It's a huge problem in the Black community. And this idea that so many, of course, BLK men do it, but also there are a lot of BLK women that do it as well. Until we stop this, predators, predatory BLK men, abusive BLK men will be able to run rampant in the community because they know that even if they're exposed, that everything will be okay. That if everything is exposed, that eventually they'll still be looked at as an angel and whoever their victim is will be demonized. But go ahead, Gabrielle.
Yeah, hey, thank you for letting me up. I mean, I definitely agree with you. I think that a lot of times with these men who are like problematic, I do think there are warning signs and there are other women. Like, I believe, like, even with the Halle Bailey case, I think that DDG's ex Ruby Rose came out and like warned about him. I know some people are going to say, oh, well, you shouldn't listen to an ex, but in my opinion, like 9 times out of time, when a guy is accused of abuse, in most cases, he did it. And I do think that that should be taken into account. Like, I mean, if I was dating a guy and like his ex girlfriend came to me and said, like, hey, this guy was abusive or violent, like, at the very least, I would be, open to listening to that. And I would take that into account. I wouldn't just, dismiss that or, disregard it. So I do think, like paying attention to the red flags and the warning signs, is so important. I mean, even when like Halle Bailey was in the Little Mermaid, like DDG was, didn't he make a rap song about like wanting to like destroy her career? Is triggered? Is that?
Yeah, he said I can't remember exactly what he said, but he said some shady things in the song. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like even that right there. Even if you don't believe his ex girlfriend, which I mean, I really do think, like I said, when men are accused, like in most cases the accusations are true. But even with that, like I don't understand still dealing with a guy after he says like, oh, I'm insecure and I want to take down your career. Like it seems like if a guy really liked you, he would want to, like be supportive. It's just there to me there were just so many red flags that got overlooked, and I just don't understand why that seems to be a consistent theme with like men just, these abusive men, they have all these red flags that get ignored and then people act like, oh, we didn't know, there's no way we could have, vetted this guy. Like I just don't get that. Maybe it's me, but I'll land there.
Okay, all right. And um I didn't put this in the topics there, but I did want to say that I really do feel like a lot of this is able to go on with the acceptance and encouragement of BLK women because a lot of these problematic men know that no matter what they do, even if their fan base is filled with BLK women, that there is always going to be a large percentage of BLK women that will stand by and support them no matter what they do. Even if it's against a fellow Black woman, they will then find some way to attack her. because I know all of the Tory Lane's, articles and blog posts that I've seen so many, black women attack Meg and say, "Oh, I never liked her," or "Oh, I didn't believe Halle Bailey. She's a liar. She can't be that nice. She always had this fake nice air." It's really, really, really disturbing to me. Like, I'll tell y'all, like, yesterday I was online and I saw Chris Brown post free Tory Lanez. And I made a video about this. It's gonna be on my channel. It is gonna release in 37 minutes. Just shameless plug here, my YouTube. If y'all want to watch it, all you have to do is just click on the link in my bio. It'll take you to my YouTube. But I said, like Chris Brown, right? He said free Tory Lanez, and he is a celebrity, right? An R&B singer. I think he's about to go on tour, or he's on tour. His main fan base, I'm not saying he doesn't have other fans, but his fan base baseline is black women. He didn't feel any problem, didn't think anything would be wrong with him saying free a man, as him being a woman beater, having a record of previously beating women. You can say whatever you want to say about that. He didn't have a problem saying, as a woman beater, saying free a man that is convicted, mind you, in a court of law of pew-pewing a black woman. He said it publicly because he did not feel like he would receive any type of backlash from black women, because there are so many black women that enable men like him. And until we as black women address that, we won't be able to get anywhere either. But that's just a side note. So because I really do think that a lot of the thoughts that these men have, even like the weird dude that came up here earlier that was talking and all that stuff, like, he has a wife. He has a black woman or a non-black woman, whoever it is, enabling him and making him feel like he's not a lunatic. You know what I'm saying? And that's a problem. That's a major, major, major problem. And, I'm just, like I said, I'm just tired of seeing black women be demonized when speaking up against a problematic man, as if the stats are not in the favor of black women, as if black women are not the most unalived, the most ex-trafficked, the most abused, the most at risk while being pregnant, for being unalived, and a whole host of other things. So it's like, why are you acting like it's so far-fetched when a black woman says that she's been harmed? I don't understand. As if it isn't happening on a large scale. But anyway, you guys, I guess I don't really have too much else to say about this topic right now. I'll see if anybody else has something to say, and then I'll end the live. I know Dark Truth, I know you are indisposed, but did you have anything to say? Or are you near the phone? You might not be. Okay. I didn't think he might not have been. Okay, so I'll go here. Gabrielle, did you have anything to say?
No, I didn't have anything else to say. I just saw you were on and just want to jump in the live and say hey. And
Okay, no problem. Sis, it's always great to see you, Gabrielle. You always give good takes and intelligent, discourse. So, yeah, all right. Oh, so I appreciate all the ladies that came up too. Cookie, Sage, was that everybody? Gabrielle. Shoot, I feel like I'm missing somebody. I really do. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Oh, Jess Justified. Yeah, she was up there too. Appreciate you, Jess, as well. Did you have something to say, Dark Truth?
Yeah, I just want to say, because I'm kind of like you. I'm genuinely curious. I just asked somebody today, like, what are dudes' fascination with wanting to believe known scumbags who do things that are harmful, even outside of what you already know about them? And like, why would they want to believe it? Like, why would people want to believe DJ Academics, who was known for having his friends rape a girl, you know? But everybody want to listen to him like he really got some type of knowledge to say, or think that his words are true. It's like the whole thing that's coming back up with this Meg Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez, and how people want to believe some random dude who said he heard some random thing in the car, and all of a sudden now that's gospel. Like they just supposed to believe that that's the truth of everything. And I find it fascinating that dudes are so quick to want to believe all of these people just because they want they want some guy who like I said is already morally bankrupt to be free.
I mean, I definitely agree with you for sure. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, definitely like BG Lavish said, definitely misogyny, definitely misogynoir. You know, I appreciate all you ladies for coming up and being in the chat. Appreciate all you lovely ladies that was there in the chat and also in the box. And I may come back later on today with a different topic or the same, but probably a different topic, you guys. All right, I'll see you guys later. If you're a Black woman and you're listening to this, I just want you to know you're awesome, you're amazing, you're special, you're valuable, and do not let these men tell you otherwise, okay? And make sure that you keep your standards high as possible, and never lower them for anybody. All right, I'll see y'all later. Love y'all.